Okay, I need to go get my water, check my cookies. So we're gonna take the light umber, get up in this little nook. I'm gonna use this to kind of outline the inside of her legs. Straight down. Down to her foot. Go straight down this way as well. All right, let's get up in here. Then take the henna and do that same thing. A little bit along the inside of her leg, each side. Doing it pretty soft, even though I'm doing long strokes. Top of her foot. Okay, now let's first go into the cream. We can do the cream again as our base color. I'm just gonna lightly put this down the center. Nice center layer, real easy. Okay, then let's get our peach, which is the darker peach. And I'm going to go along the inside of the leg on each side, blending over that brown and red with the peach. You can see I'm doing it here. And it's going to kind of bring it a little bit more into the white space too, also. Okay, so let's follow all the way down, back up. There we go. Let's go in the center here. All right, now we want the light peach. Gonna blend straight across the top into the peach and the brown on each side, coming down, leave some center white space. But you're bringing it closer to the middle. You can start to see her leg take on more color. The base here. Okay, I want to get the a little bit of rose. Kind of have to go maybe over around her shoe. Might be a little bit of redness from the shoe pinching her skin, like a little V around the bottom of the foot. Right above the shoe and up each side. I'm going to put a little bit up here. A little bit of this rose up here. Her upper leg's a little red. A little bit in this crevice. Okay. Take the blush pink. Gonna blend up here into all those colors at the top. I'm also gonna work my way down. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room in the middle for the cream, putting a little more pink straight across where her knee is. So straight across where the knee is. Right across like that, and then keep going down. Her foot again. All right, let's get the cream. The cream, more hassle for me than it is you, because I have to keep switching my color cards. This is part of how we get the look. We keep switching. Okay, we're gonna put this cream right in the middle. Straight down the middle. Even over that pink knee we did. Good. Let's do it right here around the sort of more of the side of her leg. The top of the foot. Excellent. While I have this cream, I want to retouch some cream on her hands. Before we move on to that in a minute. Okay. And let's go to that light peach again. This is going to be our final leg blending color. I'm going, and I still have a flat end from when I was doing it before. I'm going to use that flat end. I'm going to really blend everything in here together. All right. Really going to blend everything in the center with this peach, the light peach. Bring all these colors in her legs together. Now it does dull some of that black fishnet a little bit, but you can still see it obviously. You know, there's ways around that. You can use the Micron fine liner. We can go back over it. It would take a while. Think about maybe doing that toward the end as a finishing touch. Let's brush everything off here. Okay. Good. Excellent. So now we got to work on her hands. She'll only take a minute. I want to go to the light umber for that. I want to go up here in her wrist, I'm sorry, her forearm, where her dress folds open, and come along her arm right here. Around her little palm, along her finger. Let's go over here, let's go around her thumb, her palm, and across the top of her knuckles. Maybe a little on the top. Okay, let's do the peach. I'm gonna blend into this and also follow the line of her arm. Let's go across her knuckles. Let's get the light peach now. I'm going to need to sharpen. It's been a little too long. I'm going to outline everything with this light peach. Put a little more cream in there. Go over her knuckles at the top. And some cream. Use your brush. It goes right in the middle, down the top. Right in the base of her palm right here. Top of her knuckles. Now things like her makeup and lips and eyes, those are things I'm going to do at the end when I get all the other colors in, so I can kind of see what little colors on her we can still add that will tie into all the colors behind her. So I just wanted to get her base figure done. Might take a little bit of that rose color. Go over her knuckles, make them a little pink. A little bit around the base. Okay. Good. And then touch up with that light peach, and I think we're mostly done. Light peach we've got for everything. Let's blend it kind of hard and get everything all tied in here together. We'll also do her fingernails later with a white gel pen, but I'll probably make them black or something, now that I think about it. Like painted. Touch up her face right here. Okay. I think we've done enough on her for now. I do think we can go ahead and do some black shoes on her. Use a water-based pen. This is my Tombow. You can use an alcohol mark if you want, but it could go through. But I'm using my Tombow, and I'm going to give her some black shoes. Use any water-based pen you have, a Pitt pen. You can use a black pencil if you want as well. I do want these to kind of stand out a little bit. And a pen's going to be a little more vibrant than pencil. Okay, let's get the front. I mean, the black looks pretty good. I think we should do the band on her hat in this black. Let's do that too. Band between the belt buckle, which we'll do with a metallic or a silver pen. Let's do this ribbon or belt or whatever it is on her hat, black. Which ties in night to the night sky. Ties in nicely to the night sky, I meant to say. Okay, there we have that done. I think we should, let's just go ahead and do our belt here. I'm not going to do the belt loops. Let's do the belt panel. Nothing's going through, so that's good. Inside the belt buckle. Really tricky going around her finger there. This belt goes under her finger. I'll have to do her nails red then, since it's up against a black belt. All right. Well, theoretically we could do, I'm going to put black nails on her right here. And just sometimes I like to wing it, depending on how things look when I'm doing it. What the heck, let's just do some black nails. Should show good enough. Okay, now we can do the trim on her dress around her bust line in black as well. I want to do these little black ties here too, so let's squiggle in. Let's do the ties, crisscross, crisscross. There we go. A little black here at the top of her broom. And what I want to do, use my black micron, which is a very, very fine end, to do line this elastic around her bust right here. You can buy this pen. This one is the Pigma Micron 05.45 millimeter. You can buy these individually in a set. I have the set, but I have purchased them individually before. I do have in the comments section of this video, for each of my tutorials, products I've used you can purchase, and I do use them time and time again, over and over. So you're not buying it just for one picture, one video. But yeah, this Micron is one we use a whole lot. So I'm gonna outline bust again with it. Might even do a little bit dabs right here. A few of these kind of wrinkles on her dress. I want them to look a little black. There, right there, right there. Arm. Wherever you see some of those little black squiggles, just add them back in. Might even trace over her bust line because it looks a little white from that cream. That's a little trickier because if you go too thick, it won't look right. I'm going to do a little bit inside her ear. I'm going to do her nose hole. Both her nose holes, black iris. Might do it right in there along her shoulder, up under her neck. Okay, that looks good. Good. So I'm going to do this little black dot on her face. Get these little black dots next to the stars. I'm going to do those black. I'll add my own right there. And we'll deal with the rest of her details later. Okay. Woo! So let's move on now to the church. Actually, no, let's do the road. I want to do the road, because some of the colors are similar. So the road, we have Sandbar Brown and Seashell Pink. I still have my Seashell Pink out from earlier, so all you have to do is grab your Sandbar Brown. And we will start with the Sandbar Brown. This road goes here and it goes all the way up to the church. And here is the light umber. Where's my Sandbar Brown? There it is. Okay. So, done with these skin tones. Putting these away. So I'm going to kind of just, it's hard if I'm right-handed. I'm going to kind of just use my Sandbar Brown, and I'm going to kind of go in here wherever there's some squiggle lines in this road already. You can see this. Over here. I like what we did with the broom. The road goes all the way up here to the church too. All right. And get in a little bit more here. I sharpen mine, but it's more of a dull. I need a pointy sharp. All right. I'm going to kind of color along this grass coming outward into the road. All right, let's get up here. I'm going to outline it a little along the grass. Especially as it's further away, it's going to need to look a little darker. Up here between her arms. And down here, we're going to go to the grass here. There we go. So we're kind of like, we're doing the scratchy thing, but we're also bringing it toward the middle a little. All right, let's give this seashell pink a whirl. What I'm going to do, I don't know if I need more brown. I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to kind of color left to right lightly and blend into that Sandbar Brown. See if we need more brown or play it by ear as we go. Kind of coloring over and outward and over those squiggly areas we did. Just kind of coloring this in. Kind of rough patches. And the reason we did those darker schools first, it gives the rose some texture, some definition. Makes it look less one-dimensional. Makes it look a little elevated. Or like it's raised or whatever. I'm gonna go back in with Sandbar Brown a little more before we finish that off. I'm gonna do a little bit more across the center. Around these plants. All right. Just kind of melding them together. Around her leg and the broom here. One more around this tree. Weave it around these leaves, and then the seashell pink one last time. Okay. Oh, I need a little sharpen. And here we go. Let's get over in this tight area. This is where I'm going to try to blend the colors together using this lighter color as the blender. Try to make it more solid and bring it all together. There we go, that's looking good. I might use the color blender on this area. I'm not quite sure yet. Let's get in here between the leaves and the tree. Get way up here. Oh, I need to sharpen again because I'm doing pretty hard. Sharpen before I get up here. We're on the seashell pink still, blending that other brown with it. Sandbar brown all together. blending. So one of the things Prismacolors really does well. I'm going to turn my book just a little so I can get into here. So I'm right-handed. Looks like a nice looking road. We have some little rocks there we might want to put in with a black pen or dark gray or something like that. Something that'll go over nicely over the pencils. Yeah, but this is a nice color combo for kind of a dirty tan road. Another reason I didn't do the broom with too much tan or that wheat color, because then the broom would not stand out against the road. So I wanted her broom to be darker, the bristles. And I'll always think out my color themes ahead of time. Sometimes I improvise, but usually they work out as planned. A little bit right there is probably part of that road under her hand. Maybe right there too. Make sure you got everything down here. Okay. All right, so we are done that. I'm going to take I have a black Le Plume pen. See if I can do the rocks with these. Little black rocks, and this is a very shiny pen. Actually, it's called Le Pen Flex, and you get a color batch of them, and I use them in journaling and stuff. I keep a host of black pens near my work desk here. I'm just going to dab these in almost like little freckles. You can already see there's some of those little dabs there. I'm just kind of going over them. Coloring in the little rocks. Use any fine point black pen you have. The micron might not be rich enough to see doing this. Okay. Just add in a little quick little line here or there. Good. Okay. We're done with the road. So next we can work on the church. When it comes to our color palette, so you can see what's missing. Obviously we're going to do some brown in the trees. The fields are going to be all the greens, the dark greens and the yellows. We'll have kind of more of that Tuscan red, because if you look at in this color palette, you can go all the way to the darkest red, which is kind of what we achieved with the pomegranate, with the magenta. So these are the colors here on the palette, but you can go as dark as these. So for our grass, we can do the different shades of the hunter green, the golds, the limes, do a little bit of all of that. Some pale yellow in the moon, and the leaves and trees, of course. So we should work on the church now, because I have those colors out. So for the church, we have Tuscan red, pomegranate, seashell pink again, and sandbar brown again. So let's get these colors aside. I have the sandbar brown I have the Tuscan Red. I have the Pomegranate. And then I needed the Seashell Pink again. Okay. Which is probably more for the roof. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So the darkest of all those colors is definitely the Tuscan Red. I'm just trying to make sure I have all those cards pulled we're going to need. The Tuscan Red. And there we go. Okay. So make sure it's nice and sharp. I want to do the base of the church in the kind of dark red. The roof will be more the light wood kind of colors as some of the accents. Don't have it totally figured out, but we're kind of playing it as we go. I just kind of know the colors I want to use. I don't know how it's going to lay down, but here we go. We're going to start by going underneath the rafter, or whatever that is, the gutter. It's like a gutter. All right. Let's get it nice and sharp. I'm gonna go up the front steeple area with this Tuscan Red, under that kind of gutter, and back down over here. We're just gonna kind of outline it. And this technically goes down all the way. Get underline under this gutter. This is part of like a patio overhang, so we want to section this off. Then I'm going to go add more color in. I'm going to darken it a little. I'm going to frame it a little more, bring the color inward a little. Bring it upward a little. Lightening my touch so we can put in some of that pomegranate too. All right. Let's take the pomegranate and I'm going to blend in to that Tuscan Red. Blend down along the sides. There we go. A little bit lighter here. This is just our first layer. We'll have to do more than one, of course. Okay, let's go back to the Tuscan Red. I'm just going to put this over here instead. And for the Tuscan Red, I want to outline this other side here too. First, we're going to outline this corner. We'll go straight over it, so it's kind of dark right there. Let's go down here. Do the corner. We can bring it a little to the corner like this. I think this is still part of the wall. This doors or posts, I think. Can't really tell what that is. This is still part of the wall right here, so we're going to do it from the bottom up. Just a little. All right, let's go darken over here where we first started our Crimson Red. Sorry, Tuscan Red. Let's get all this darkened up. Okay. Pomegranate. Go and get this put right on in here. Back where we had it before, you're going to see it come a little more alive now. We might end up needing the blender on this one. Up the side of the house. Sorry, the church. Upside of the church, over the door. Now, sometimes this is a good area where you can put in some white. You can even touch in a little bit of a pink. I might touch in a little Crimson Red in here. I think I will. First, I want to get in some more of this pomegranate. Go upward from the bottom. Go down. Much lighter in the middle. I'm actually going to take this Crimson Red. I think we did one of her other dresses on her dress. I'm going to go and burnish in with this red. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't have the tag for you with me right here, but just know I'm doing Crimson Red. So it kind of covers up some of that cranberry from the Tuscan, but promotes it, like you can see through it like a layer almost. It's nice. This could be her very own church she goes to get forgiveness for all the bad witchy things she does. So that's why it's red like she is. Okay. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking my camera again. I cannot figure out how to not do that. Make this table not shake when I'm burnishing, because the light thing to hold my phone tends to be a little wobbly. I'm filming this on my phone. Let's go down here. I had planned for it to be darker, but then we can put some of the cranberry in those bricks on the top, I think, by doing it this way. Do I have... I'm sorry, actually I do have a card for this. Let's be doing this Crimson Red. I was doing Crimson Red that whole time, in case you were wondering. So we have Tuscan Red, Pomegranate, and Crimson Red in this church front. Prismacolor does have nice reds. Soucolor has the best greens. They have like 3 full big trays of greens. 3 times as many greens as Prismacolors have. It's one of the reasons I love them. And they also have 180 colors total versus 150. Okay, let's get right down here. So I'm going to take the Tuscan Red. I need to get a little more of my dark color in before I start getting in that crimson red. Along the bottom. Okay, put in a little more bit of pomegranate. Just in the middle. Okay. Then the crimson. Crimson red. And this is our burnishing color. So I'm going to go straight across that corner there. It's hard to do it right-handed without moving the book, I can tell you that. It's not blocking too much of your camera view. But you can still see that cranberry or whatever, the Tuscan Red in there, kind of makes it look like darker shadows basically. And it's better than just like a flat solid red. Sharpen. Let's get up around the door. Looking good. Just go back over until you are sure all the tooth is filled. It's nice and waxy. All right. Okay, so for the roof, I'm going to put in some of that crimson. Since we covered most of the crimson over here, I want to put some of that onto these little shingles. So I'm going to outline them in the crimson. I'm sorry, Tuscan Red. What am I thinking? The Tuscan Red. Weird, because it's a nice darker red. We're going to outline here. Outline all of them, even the ones that are only halfway. Or like an L. All right. Let's take that sandbar brown and we're going to outline the window. We're going to go right in the middle of the window. I'm going to do the bars across. And I'm going to do the sides. Okay, same over here. We're going to go straight down the middle. Let's do this railing up here on the top. Actually, we'll do that in the pomegranate. Let's do the little pillars. Sandbar brown. This is an old wood rustic church. I thought about outlining it in white, but it would be too happy of a color. We really don't have any white in our color palette, so kind of outline the side of this window. Then I'm going to outline the church itself. The sandbar brown, I'm going to use a lot of pressure. I'm just going to make it be dark, like a dark brown. All right, let's go across. Do this little railing here. There we go. Now for these panels, I want to do dark as well. Just going to color them in inside that Tuscan red. Let's do this part of the church we didn't outline in the sandbar brown. Oh my gosh, I have had this Tuscan red here this whole time. I'm using sandbar brown. Sorry about that. My bad. We are using Sandbar Brown. Okay. Do a very light dusting over this roof here. Not quite sure about this here because the slanted roof would be done. I'm not sure. This could be red, part of the church right there, I think. I'll have to go back and get my reds. Okay, well, make sure you have a nice sharp pencil. Go into that seashell pink. And we're going to color in the white spaces here of this roof. Really, we're going to be going over all of it, but there you go. Gonna do the doors this color. Nice neutral color. And you can see how these colors from the road tie into this. This looks a little more peach tint because it's blending in with that Tuscan red. But it makes the whole color theme, everything kind of go together. That's why we use what I call crossover colors. I'm going to go real hard now, even blending over some of that red so it'll smear sort of some of that Tuscan red. Makes it look like the tiles are kind of withered over time. And that's a look I like to do a lot. Okay, it's a pretty neat look. Let's go along the top. Good. Now we'll take the crayon Pomegranate, which is a color we didn't do as much of on the front of the church. I'm going to do this little railing up here at the top. If you want to go on the roof, this is the witch's lookout spot. Matches her dress. This is her domain. Fairly confident. There we go, that looks nice. I'm gonna put a little of this in the window here on the ledge. I'm gonna go down the center of the doors with it. On the side. keep it as nice as possible. Well, we'll have to put some window light in there later, of course. Alexa, cancel. A little bit of white right over there is probably fine. Maybe I'll use a white gel pen just to outline above the door frame, and that'll be the only touch of white that we do here. Making sure I get everything. Steps should be kind of a gray color. I don't have any grays in my palette. I'm gonna have to grab some. That's fine. It'll be like a little extra color we'll add in. Touch up as needed, like around your window. My sandbar brown has a little tooth showing. That roof was darker, but I'm going to put in this seashell pink over it. Right there. And I think we're going to have to add a little more red to go back to the front of that church. So I'm going to put in my Tuscan red here. Put in a little pomegranate. Right here. Then we did that final kind of burnishing with the crimson red. Gonna get in there at the crimson red. I just assume this must be part of the front of the church because I can't really tell what it is otherwise. Let's get each little spot here behind the railing. There we go. Okay, and sharpen your sandbar brown. You have to touch up a little of the trim. We'll go back and do the steps and the windows a little later once I gather some grays after my next break. I do see around this window I had to sharpen my sandbar brown. Needs a little bit of touch up. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to work on the grass. For the grass, I have Kelly green and dark green. I want to also add in a little bit of yellow ochre in some areas, which I didn't previously list in the swatch. The yellow ochre is actually going to go into the leaves, but I think it's going to be a nice little touch to add that into the grass. So let's get started, and we're going to start with the darker green. I don't think I have a yellow ochre card. That's okay. All right, anyway, let's get started. Let's get a nice sharpen. Let's get started. Okay. So we'll start with this little patch of grass on to the right of her. We'll start with the dark green. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just squiggle in this dark in the areas where you see these grass squiggles already exist, sort of. Does that make sense? And then kind of straight up along up into the dirt road. Outline the dirt road. Those are little leaves, but I'm just going to put that grass color right over it. Let's do right here. Leaves are really too small to see on that grass anyway, so I'm just going to go over them. So yeah, I'm kind of coloring this in from the grass here. And then I'm going to softly bring it a little bit inward from the road like this. There we go. Lots of those little green squiggles. I want to kind of go all the way into this grass is a little bit overlying on the dirt road. To fix that up a little. Okay, let's also do the Kelly green. And I'm just going to blend in to the green around the edges first. And then come a little bit into the center white area. I'm going to touch in, I don't have the yellow card with me, but I'm going to touch in a little bit of this yellow ochre. Just kind of going to weave some of this in. So, you know, sometimes grass can look a little yellowish green, especially if it's dry or dying or the light's hitting it a certain way. Just getting a little bit of that in here. Okay, go back to the Kelly green. And we're going to blend kind of right over everything, over that yellow and everything else. I'm going pretty soft but steady. I'm bringing it toward the center. So you can see. Yeah, you can see some of those dabs of yellow there. I think that looks nice. Let's get in here. Okay, so I'm going to put a little more yellow in here. In some spots, not tons, but then I'm going to take the dark green again. I'm going to work really around the edges. Bring it inward a little. Okay. bringing that in. So it's darker on the outside. It lightens up the more center that it goes. Darker around the broom. Okay, let's do the pale Kelly green again. I'm going to go over everything, try to blend this all with this Kelly green, but I'm not going too hard in the center. And we might use I think I'm going to use the color blender for this once I get everything in here, because we are using multiple colors. Okay, let's get in here. I'm gonna just squiggle in a little more yellow. And then we will see, actually I think I'm gonna use the Prismacolor blender. We will see what this does. Let's get in and blend. This is the Prismacolor blender. Should look really nice. Hold your paper down. Oh yeah, this looks great. So when you have multiple colors that you want to use these blenders, especially if the colors aren't the same, like if you have, you know, yellow and green or orange, red, and pink or something like that. That looks nice. We gotta get into the edges by the road. Anywhere you're seeing some white tooth. I'm gonna go right down here around this broom. And you're gonna see my camera shaking because of course I'm doing hard pressure. My whole table shakes. It's really just my ring light and I filmed this on my phone overhead. I attached my phone to it. But when I color really hard, it shakes the lamp mostly, more than anything. And my phone is pretty heavy. Okay. There we go. I like that. See, that little yellow touch in there was nice. Gave it a third tone, made it a little more multi-dimensional, a little more realistic. I need to add that into my swatch. Okay, let's get right down here. There we go. There's our first batch of grass. There's a lot of grass in this picture. Okay, well, let's go to the dark green and start over. Resharpen. I think we'll do on this side of the road and over here. So let's get in some squiggles. Squiggles. And again, we want to outline the side of the road. Grass going upward a little, inward, toward the center more. There we go. Lightening it up the further out we go here. All right, let's also do over here. This is grass behind her arm, a little bit right here in front of the church, and all of this. It's a lot of different grass patches here. I'm going to line the edge of the road again, coming inward, that green in between her dress, all the way into her dress, like all this right here. It's all part of the grass. Go in front of these bushes. Okay, a little more squiggles. Let's do this one here. I'm going to outline this little hill right here. Okay. I'm going to go the darker area down. So this hill kind of runs into that hill, so we'll make sure the dark is on the top of each, not back to back, if that makes sense. Just lighten up some pressure. Bring this down here. Okay. All right. We'll focus on this two at a time. So let's do our first little bit of the Kelly green, then we'll put in some yellow. Go over here. Let's put in some Kelly green. Here. Okay, just leave that green card there, but go ahead and pick up your yellow pencil. I'm gonna get some of this yellow ochre in here. I think that's a better effect because the little bit of yellow in this road is a nice accent with a little tinge of yellow in the grass and the little yellow we're going to have in the leaves. So I don't know why I didn't put that there originally. Let's get some in here woven in. Hey, buddy. There's a cat snuggling up to my leg. Leo, what's up? What's the matter? What's wrong? I'm busy. You hungry, I'll bet? Yeah, we get some yellow in there. Okay, now go back to your Kelly green. And let's get some more of that kind of over up to the edge. A little bit of everywhere. This lighter green right down here. You do want to make sure every area is touched with the color, even though we're using the blender, so it'll blend evenly. It's okay to see a lot of white tooth because the blender will take care of that, but you don't want to leave any barren spots. I'm going to grab the dark one. Do just a little more. Could divide this hill here. A little more. Put some more of those squiggles back in so it'll show. Hey buddy, what's up? I forgot right there too. I forgot to add a little bit of green over here. Bring that green down. Add just a little bit of yellow over here. All right. Now we're ready for our blender again. Let's go on in. Let's get in the little areas first. I love when we start getting in some of the major areas like water or grass or mountains in, because then it starts bringing the whole picture to life. We can see how better idea how everything's going to look. And the table's shaking. It's an earthquake. It's looking good. Let's get over here in this little area. Whew, big job, huh? I almost feel like I need to put more black in that sky. It's not black enough for me. Pretty good, looking pretty good. Arms getting a little tired. All right. It's looking good. We worked it pretty well. So then what I like to do is take my pencil, so because we have two different hills here, I want to go back over this with the dark just to make sure it's kind of obvious where one hill begins. One stops and one begins. Touch up a little bit of those pokey leaves right over that. So it's all blended. There we go. Oh, that creates a nice shadowy sort of effect, which I like. Okay. Woo! When we get down here, I do think I have another green. I have green ochre. Yellow ochre. What's the green ochre for? Green ochre. Oh, that's gonna go in the tree. So let's go ahead and sharpen. I want to do these spiky little plants right here. And we're going to do this in the dark green. We're just going to do a single color. Get this down first so we can see the grass we're doing around it. Nice and sharp you're going to want before you do this part. As you can see, I just did real sharp. There we go. There's only one. I'm going to go over it twice and darken it up until it's nice and solid hunter green. All right, let's get that in here. A little tricky right on the bottom to keep your pencil on the paper. All right. Okay, got it. Whew. Okay, so let's try to hold that little edge down. I curled up. Work on this section here. These bushes, I'm gonna have to use my green ochre, I think. Yeah, so there are a lot of leaves here, and those are going to be yellow and red. So we probably should do those little leaves before we do this area, but for now, let's do this. Oh no, I just broke my whole tip, darn it. I did it too hard. Try that again. That's better. Let's get our little squiggles of grass in. my feet. All right, I'm going to do along this hill border here. I'm going to bring it downward. Do down here. And let's bring it a little bit down, a little bit more. Nice, soft strokes. I'll go upward from here as well. All right, let's put in our Kelly green. Doing a lot lighter in the middle. I want to touch that yellow in there. Do my yellow. Okay, go back to the dark green. Let's put a little more of this dark around where the new hill starts. It's easy to differentiate it. Bring it down. Right here, I can bring it a little bit upward. Great. Now the Kelly green again. I'm going to color into the spine just to make sure. And we'll color in with this yellow a little more. Make sure we get some of that in here. Didn't see that area right there. All right. Okay, let's go with our blender. Prismacolor blender. It's pretty flat still. Flat is good when you're doing long strokes and you want things to mesh with one another. You don't want anything too pointy. Trying to look nice. This is a witch in a field. She's maybe doing a flyby, decided to stop and do her celebrity photo shoot. Go in and say a few prayers for the things she's done, and she's on her way. back to the witch's cottage, I'd imagine. Things are coming together nicely. Oh, sorry about that shaking again. I need to touch a little more green into the spine here. Can't really see in there, but here we go. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Then all we need is to take our dark pencil. Again, make it kind of obvious where this hill starts. Do a little zhuzhing here. A few little spots, but all right. Just touched it up a little more of that medium Kelly green in here. Excellent. So now just touching it. Now we can actually do these leaves, and then we'll do the grass around it. The leaves are yellow ochre and crimson red. Super easy. So that will be, let's grab those colors. Okay, yellow ochre and crimson red. Yellow ochre, there it is. Keep your grass colors out for when you're going to need that. Crimson red, where are you? There it is. All right, do a good sharpen. We'll see if we need to adjust. So for the leaves, I'm going to just kind of go around the sides and the bottom half and then up sideways, like bottom and then up each side, and then we're just going to do the yellow kind of in the middle. Real easy. Bottom and up one side. Bottom, up one side. So then take the yellow ochre, as long as it's nice and sharp, blend that into the red. It's gonna almost make a little orangey shade without adding an orange color. I think it's a nice touch. Okay, yeah, it's real easy. We did those cute little leaves. We'll do some more up here obviously later, but we're going to continue on with the grass, try to finish it. Let's get in with the dark green. Need a little sharpen. We're going to have to kind of wiggle that same method we did, but around those leaves, which will be a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm going to just start by doing the pokey grass with this dark green upward. All right, let's go around the edge here of the road with this green. The grass is coming in and or overlapping into the road. Both probably. Let's bring it a little bit down, going around the orange leaves. All right, let's go right here. Okay, we're gonna go where each of these grass mounds is and pull the dark color down underneath it too, just to take up more white space. It's going to help it show better as well. Go around these little leaves, all around these little guys here. bringing this color a little bit down from the mounds and around it. I think we got it pretty good. I need to get a little more of that darker green down here. Her shoe. Okay, a little more sparse over here. Okay, now let's go into the Kelly green. I'm going to want to sharpen. I'm going to start working in some of this green, and then of course we're going to leave little spots for the yellow. Let's get between these guys. Trying to keep it all going up and down instead of left to right, so the color will fill in and look like it won't streak in different directions. It's a little trickier though when you have terrain that isn't smooth and you have to wiggle around objects, like these leaves, for example. Okay. All right. Let's put in some yellow. Just wherever you can get it in there. Okay, got a good amount of yellow in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more Kelly green. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit more first with the dark green. Get a little bit more of that dark color at the top here before we start burnishing everything. Around these bushes here. Okay, and the Kelly green one last time. My page starting to curl a little from all the pressure I've been putting on it. All right, so just get that green around the leaves. Make sure all the white is covered with some color before we get in there and do the burnishing. Everything to have some green on it. Plenty of green here. Okay. Let's take our blender. It's time for a little sharpen of it though. Nice and sharp so I can get into these tight areas. I'm going to start up here in this corner. And we'll have to work in littler sections because we have to go around the leaves. We don't want to blend over the leaves and bring that orange and stuff into the grass. I'm going to try to go around them. Get up here. There we go. It's starting to look nice. Right along her foot. We're bringing it down. Stick with the middle parts for now. Go up and around her foot. Ooh, my hand's cramping. Really working it. Small little areas. Boy, these Prismacolor or the color blenders, I use them both. They're a dream. I spent years on coloring when I didn't know about these things, when I could have saved myself so much time. My pictures would have looked so much better. Whew. Whew. goodness, I have to get back into that little corner, but I'm using my little makeup brush here to hold things together. I'm gonna give it another sharpen. We're almost done. Probably do the same trick when we do the tree. After we do the tree, there's two branches here. All we have is the bushes and the moon and some little details on her, and that's it. Some makeup and maybe some silver for her belt, window light, just some little details, but overall this was a pretty easy picture, I think. All right, well, let's get up over here. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna get over in this corner. It looks like I missed some stuff in the spine here. It's really hard to see. Okay. Oof, my hand's falling asleep. Almost got it. We're almost at the finish line. It's a nice, easy way, time-consuming be that it may, to do grass. Works well for water, for oceans, this trick, with several different blues and white as well. Let's see. Okay. Scratching my back. Itches. And in case you're wondering why I didn't do a black witch's hat, it's because her hat is over the front of this black background and they would mesh all together. You wouldn't necessarily be able to tell where her hat in the sky begins or ends. That is why we didn't do a black witch's hat in this picture. Plus I was going for a cheerful, fashionable witch. Maybe that'll be the name of this page. Fashionable Field Witch. Fashionable Field Witch. We'll see how many parts this tutorial ends up being, if it takes 3 parts again, but Okay. Looks good. Don't mind my paper curling up. Let's put in a little bit more green along this tree. Anywhere you see too much yellow, you can tap in that Kelly green, a little bit of it. But it's a nice looking field. Almost looks like candy corn in the field, I think. I like how it looks. I might want to take this red and just kind of go across the vein on each of these leaves. Straight across. So we can see them better. Yeah, I like that. And then the yellow. So I'm done for today. For you guys, it'll just be continuing momentarily. I'm going to pick some grays for those steps. Find my black pencil to go over the black background, I think. Grab my tree colors and continue with you tomorrow, which for you might only be a matter of minutes by the time I air this video. Okie dokie.